Hey everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Attucks, Oscar Robertson, and the basketball team that
awakened a city.
Thank you. It kept going and going.
Anyway,
it's by Phillip Hoose. It's Hoose, so I'm going to go with Hoose.
Like loose.
Because it's fun to say. Anyway, okay, so this basically takes on what race relations were like in Indiana, the Hoosier state. I know very little about the Hoosiers. I'm sure you've seen the movie.
I did not.
Saw it once. But anyway, it's set during the 1950s, which is back during kind of big civil rights movement era, but it kind of talks about what was going on in the country from kind of the northern state aspect of it. And basically the high schools were segregated. You've got all of your African-American students in one building and white Americans in another building, and it turns out that the African-American school starts beating the pants off of the white schools in Indiana, and so they kind of make a name for themselves. And it
playing basketball. You missed the basketball part.
That is important.
Yeah.
Yes, it is all about basketball because it's Indiana,
and it's a nonfiction book.
Yeah, and it kind of was the basketball playing was a change agent in kind of that area of the country because people wanted to win. So.
Right. And it's kind of about this particular group of people that were playing, and
I think there's basketball superstars.
Yes, and so this was interesting for a couple reasons. One, I got this through either NetGalley or Edelweiss. I got the e-arc. You had an arc.
I had an arc of it, a physical arc from the publisher.
And so, what I thought was interesting about this is that something that they kind of touched on in the book too was we're all taught that if you were in the North it was great, but in Indiana apparently race relations were just as bad as if you were in Alabama.
And I think it's probably fairly true for the whole country.
Right.
I don't...
But that's not the story that we're told usually.
This is true.
So I thought that was interesting. And I thought it was also interesting, if you read about these people and you read about, their successes and their failures, but I thought it was interesting, what they were able to parlay in their high school basketball careers into. And I thought it was also interesting that at the end when you read about a lot of the players stayed and were teachers.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't have much to say about it. I think it's perfect for a kid who's interested in sports or basketball, right, and they need to read a historical novel. I think that's perfect. It's just for me, it didn't grab me. It wasn't interesting.
It didn't.
I'm not into sports. I'm not into basketball. I didn't really know about any of this stuff. And I've been told kind of similar stories, but it's been done in a better way. But this is nonfiction, so I didn't really expect it to be much different than it was. It's not bad. It's just not what I read.
Right. And I feel for what it was very well done. And it was well researched. And I think that if you are a fan, I didn't understand any of the basketball stuff, even though, I grew up in a house where we watched basketball sometimes because my grandpa played basketball all in high school, but I don't understand it. So I think that, for a kid who likes basketball, this is a great book.
And I think even if you don't like basketball and you like sports, this is definitely, a way to kind of get kids interested in history.
I think it's also would be good for people who just want to read about the race issues in the United States. Because like I said, I feel in school you're taught, the North was great and the South wasn't. But this was no, Indiana, it was horrifically bad.
Yeah.
So that's
okay.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to have to rate it at this point.
Sure.
So our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If it was not good, doesn't deserve a horn, it is therefore a horse. So where'd you fall on this one?
I was at a 3. Like I said, it was good for what it was. It served its purpose. It's just not my thing.
Same thing. It's a 3. I can see myself recommending it, but personally I didn't like it. So that's kind of why it gets dinged a little. But, it's a solid... it's a solid nonfiction book. It is. So.
It is. So that's where we are on Attucks, Oscar Robertson, and the basketball team that awakened the city by Phillip Hoose. See you later.
Hoose.
Bye. Bye.